by now. I am Mr. Soderback. I am the director of the College and Career Center here at Vista High School. This is Career Weeks. And with us, they have like an incredibly long name, but I can say it's an apprenticeship on the civilian side connected to the Navy, right? And they have a ton of apprenticeship programs. I've been down and toured their facility. It's mind-blowing. There's F-18s and helicopters and all sorts of other crazy stuff down there that you can work on. I am going to turn it over to them, and they're going to tell you all about their programs today with the short time, unfortunately, that we have. Okay, gentlemen and ladies, please take it away.
Sure. Good afternoon and happy International Women's Day. My name is Maribel Gallo, and I'm the Fleet Readiness Center Southwest Department of the Navy Recruitment and Outreach Specialist. I just wanted to say hello, let you guys know that we are a diverse employer. We have individuals, different genders, different generations, different professional backgrounds, everything from interns, apprenticeships to scientists and engineers. Today we're going to focus on our apprenticeship program. So we have our supervisors that run the apprenticeship program here at Naval Base San Diego. So I'm going to allow them to give you some information about everything that we do and the current openings that we have for the apprenticeship program.
Okay. Oh, can everyone hear me? I'm going to closer. I'm Joel Blaney. I'm with the Southwest Naval Air Station, which is a part of the Department of the Navy. And what we do here is we hire civilian personnel to work in trades. We have 17 different trades that we offer. For the most part, based on the work entails maintenance, repair, and overhaul of both the United States Navy and the Marine Corps' aircraft, helicopters, and so forth. Now, what's unique about what we offer here with the apprenticeship program is that the qualification is pretty basic. 18 years old, United States citizen, and a high school education, a diploma or GED. That's basically it. You don't have to know anything. We teach you everything you need to know. And oh, by the way, you are progressively paid as you continue the program. The program is hourly based. It's has a total of 7,200 hours, which takes roughly about 4 years to reach that pinnacle. But in doing so, I guarantee you, you will become an integral part of the United States Navy's ability to keep the nation safe. Now, having said that, many of you are going to venture out into your careers, whether it's starting with institutional colleges, so forth and so on. But I will venture to tell you, when you look at your possibility of securing your future, trades are not going away. I use this as an example. My younger brother, he's 43 now. He has 4 sons, and he entered an electrician apprenticeship program at 20 years old. And today he is so secure in his career, in his profession, that it makes him feel very, very comfortable. So when we here at Southwest Fleet Readiness Center Southwest, we tend to do very well, not tend to, we do very well at training our apprentice. They stay with us with longevity. We have some here that started 30 years ago, they're still with us. And they have risen to the top of that pinnacle regarding them using that trade and those skills to perpetuate their futures. So now, having said that, here at North Island, which is Coronado's where we're located, we actually have 2 apprenticeship programs. Our program currently will not start a onboarding or hiring process until next year. However, I would like to turn this over to Mr. Ntume from the Southwest Regional Apprenticeship Program, and he has some really good information for you. And we both, once we go through our comprehensive overview, we're here to answer any and all questions that you'll have. Okay? Ntume.
All right, hi everyone. My name is Mtume, like Joe said, Mtume Salam. I'm the administrator for the Southwest Regional Apprenticeship Program. We're on North Island, just like Joe said, in Coronado, and our program is very similar to his. So I won't repeat everything he said. It's very similar. You would be working for the Department of Navy. You would not be enlisted in the military. You'd be a civilian working for the Department of Navy. The way our program works is we pay for you to go to college, to take college courses at Southwestern College. You do 2 weeks of college, and then you do 2 weeks of on-the-job learning, where you're learning from a journeyman, you're learning from a more experienced tradesperson. And then you go back to college for 2 weeks, and then you go back to what we call the deck plates or the shop for 2 weeks, and then you go back to college for 2 weeks, and you alternate like that. We do that for 3 years, and then in the 4th year, it's all on-the-job learning, and then you're a graduate. You're paid from day one. The starting pay is $18.30 an hour. Approximately every 6 months, you get a raise. So after 6 months, it's up to $19.50 an hour. After another 6 months, I think it's about $20.75 an hour. And when you finally graduate, it's $28 an hour. But by the time you graduate, that number will be higher because most years government employees, and you will be a government employee, most years government employees get what they call a COLA raise, which is a cost of living raise. So our current pay for graduates is set at $28.15, but it does go higher. Like similar to what Joe said, the qualifications are not, it's really not that bad. You have to be 18 years of age when the program starts, which would be approximately October of this year. You have to be a US citizen. You have to be able to pass a drug test. You have to be able to pass a security background check. And that pretty much is all the qualifications. It is a difficult program. I'm not going to tell you that it's easy. It's difficult, but it is worth it. I'm a graduate myself. I went to the program 11 years ago is when I started. And I went through the entire program and I do it all again. It's a great program. One other important point with the college, you get an associate's degree from Southwestern College. So you're actually getting a paid for head start on college. If you're interested in a 4-year degree, you can do the last 2 years on your own, and you're that much closer to getting a 4-year bachelor's degree without having paid for the first 2 years because the government will pay the first 2 years for you. So it's a really great program, a lot of different trades, everything from machinist, welder, rigger, which is the people who lift heavy things on the ships. Oh, right, and there's a big difference. So Joe's apprenticeship program, they primarily work on aircraft and helicopters. Our apprenticeship program, you work on what's called aircraft carriers. I don't know how many of you guys are familiar with that. It's the big ships you see if you're going down to 5 that you see over in the bay. Those are aircraft carriers. And those are the ships that our apprentice program, we primarily work on. We also have apprentices who work on the submarines over at Point Loma base. And we have apprentices who work on some of the smaller ships on 32nd Street, which is the second shipyard that you'll see if you're going down to 5. You'll see it off to your right. Well, off to the west. Depends on which direction you're traveling, I guess. So anyway, great program. I'm a graduate. I love the program. I'm a little bit biased, obviously, because I'm part of it. Also, similar to what Mirabelle said, we're equal opportunity employer. That means male, female, old, young, gay, straight, doesn't matter. You can apply, and if you fit the qualifications, you'll get hired. One really exciting thing, we actually announced today our next training, our next hiring event. So we put a link in the chat, and that went live today. So if you go to USA Jobs, www.usajobs.gov, not .com, .gov, and you do a search for apprentice in San Diego, you will find it. That job is live and it's starting today, and we'll be taking applications until April 5th.
And I just want to add, this is a great way to get into the federal system. As I mentioned, I do recruitment and outreach, and a lot of people have a difficult time becoming federal employees. They have a hard time coming into the federal system. This is one great way that's pretty much lined out for you from the beginning to help you through the process, teach you, pay you, no student debt. You're actually getting an education while you're working here. You start accruing your benefits from day one. Oh. So it's a great opportunity for anyone who's interested. And again, exploring these fields and also becoming a federal employee, staying here locally to begin with the training. Once you are done with the training, I mean, you'd be able to move on to pretty much anywhere where the Navy is, not just in the US, but overseas as well. I actually replaced someone who is in Italy now. So she decided to go work as a civilian in Italy, and she's having a good time in Italy while we're here. So just wanted to add that as well.
Yeah, that's a good point. I forgot about the benefits. The benefits are the same benefits that all employees get. So healthcare benefits, paid time off, paid sick leave, paid annual leave, 13 federal holidays per year off with pay. What are some of the other benefits, Joe? I know there's more. Oh, TSP, which is what we call our 401k. So yeah, just full federal benefits. If you know any federal employees, whatever benefits they get, that's what you would get from day one. And we're open to any questions. If you guys want to put any questions in the chat, or if anybody wants to ask any questions, we're available for any questions you guys might have.
Well, my first question would be, can you go into a little bit more detail about what kind of the apprenticeships do? Like what different types of apprenticeships there are under each of your programs, so that the students have an idea of what the kind of things they would be working on.
Okay, so what they would work on, the overall concept is maintenance, repair, and overhaul. What that means is, and I'm going to speak for Fleet Readiness Center Southwest, which is basically aircraft driven. So we have everything ranging from welding, riggers, aircraft machinists, mechanics, sheet metal mechanics. This is dealing with the skin of the aircraft, if you will. Aircraft launch and arresting devices, composite fabrications. And what this basically does, what you'll basically do, if you can picture this in your mind, an aircraft will come and it's stripped of all the paint, and it's pretty much taken all the way apart. It's overhauled, put back together, and the United States Navy will accept an aircraft that's pretty much rebuilt by the journeymen and artisans here, which an apprentice is being trained over that period of time to have those expert skills in their series that will allow us to support the United States government in that way. And I want to add to that as an apprentice, if there are any of you out there that ever had the desire to serve your nation, this is one great way of doing it. Now, many of you may think, joining the military in any of the branches is the only way, and I can understand that if you see it through that narrow vision. But I'll tell you, every one of us as Americans have a duty to serve our nation, and this is one great way you can do it. You would not be a commissioned officer or an enlisted sailor in that capacity, but the dependency of your skill set and how we serve and placing those aircraft back out in the fleet is paramount. And you could say one day when you're out with your buddies and one of those F-15s fly by, you can say, hey, I had something to do with that aircraft, keeping our nation safe.
So one of the big questions that could come up with students is, one is, what kind of future is there for me in a program like this? Let's put that in context that I know that in recent years, there's been a lot of people who have been retiring, right? And maybe you guys can talk a little bit about your needs for the next generation. Because sometimes they think that it's very hard to get into these jobs, it's very competitive, things like that. But I know there's also a great need coming up because we've got an entire generation that's about ready to retire.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. There really is a great need. These ships aren't getting any newer. I talk about ships primarily. Joel talks about aircraft. I'm sure the aircraft is the same way.
Same way.
Our aircraft carriers, I want to say they average about 50 years old. They need maintenance all the time. And it's not just the actual maintenance workers. One of the main things about our apprenticeship is that what we're trying to do is we're trying to create the future supervisors and leaders of the shipyards, not necessarily the future workers. We hire journeymen. What we call journeyman is a skilled mechanic. We hire skilled mechanics all the time. The main purpose of the apprenticeship is to try to assist you in learning how to become a supervisor or a leader in the future in the apprenticeship. Like I said, I graduated from the apprenticeship, and much of our leadership are also apprentice graduates. So it's not just something that where you're going to learn how to do a job that you can do for the next few years. It's actually a career. It's a really, really good career. So I highly encourage you to think about it. And I see one question came up right there. What personal skills did you gain from this apprenticeship that you currently use? The biggest skill I gained from the apprenticeship is one you're listening to right now. It's public speaking. We do several public speaking courses in the apprenticeship, and I was terrified of speaking in public when I joined the apprenticeship. I completely bombed my first public speech. It was terrible. I was graded appropriately. I got an F on that speech. But the teacher encouraged me, and now I have to speak on a regular basis in front of groups. It could be groups as large as 300 or 400 is the largest group I spoke in front of. And believe it or not, at this point, I don't actually get nervous at all, but that's just a matter of training and practice. That's all it is. Because I was a bundle of nerves the first time I got up to speak in front of people. So that's one of the biggest skills that I learned is public speaking. And it's an excellent skill that you can take anywhere, no matter what you do. It doesn't have to necessarily be with the federal government.
Well, here's another question that I would throw out there real quick is once you're an apprentice, you get through the journeyman level, let's say you're at year 5, what kind of money am I making? What kind of money am I taking home?
Well, I always feel weird about talking specifically about money.
I mean, you just give me I think we're just looking for a range. I think we want to emphasize the students, but this is a middle class job.
Right. Okay. So I would say, so I joined the apprenticeship in 2010. And so it's 2021. It's 11 years later. When in my class, there were 25 of us. I would say the range of what we make now is between 80 to 120,000.
Easily.
And that's kind of the range of what all the people who went through the apprenticeship with me make now. So just to kind of give you a ballpark, it's definitely the type of job where you'll make the same money that if you live next door to an engineer, that's the kind of money they make. Or if you live next door to, I don't know, some professional, it's professional level paid because our workers are highly skilled. So this is not the type of job where you're going to make 40,000 and barely make ends meet. And the benefits are tremendous.
So if I'm in my 50s, is it okay if I come down and talk to you guys?
Absolutely.
I know, I'm thinking about a career change.
I know. So,
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I would say this. I tease the apprentice a little sometimes about their salaries because, during the training program, provided that the hourly quotas have been met, and which they always do, and which is roughly about every 126 months. The folks get a pay raise, and by the time I tease them, by the time they get through the program and start as a journeyman, they're looking at easily, with some overtime here and there, $78,000, $80,000 a year, easy. And when you link that up with what that means to provide for yourself and your family, if you have families, this is the part I tease them with a little bit. They say money can't make you happy, but I can attest to this. It sure does pay unhappiness to stay away for a while. So if you're looking at it from that point of view, it does have a tendency, these trades and your efficiency and how well you do your job, and stay with us, please. If you don't join us, we want you to stay. It will have a positive effect in improving your lifestyle. I guarantee it. There's a beach right over there where we work. A very nice one.
Also being that we're federal agency, there's always work to be done. We mentioned that the staff, they're retiring, but some, specifically aircraft, will be retiring in the near future too. And the new aircraft are coming in, and it's pretty cool to know ahead of time that that's happening and kind of get exposed to new technology that's coming on board. So working here, you get to see all that firsthand and continue to learn, continue to grow, and be exposed to, as I mentioned, people with different backgrounds, different professional levels, and it's a great overall working environment.
And I've actually been down to the facility, at least for the aircraft version of this, and it's hard to explain to the students unless they're there in person. And if you're a younger grade level, hopefully once the pandemic is over, they'll allow us to come back down and take a tour around. Maybe we can go on an aircraft carrier this time and check that out as well. I think that's one of the key things, is it's hard to explain how cool it is until you've actually been there. And see what they work on all the equipment they use and things like that. It's a lot of the stuff is very high tech. A lot of it is very hands-on. And I think the thing that I took away from this is that you can make a good living. They'll teach you everything you need to know over a period of years, right? So you have a stable career. You don't necessarily need to go off and get a 4-year degree to have a great life, right? And you don't have to stay with the Navy for the rest of your life, although they I can kind of want to keep you. I think you'd probably want to stay once you're there anyway. But you also have that trade with you for the rest of your life, which the trades, they don't tell you about this, but trades are good all over the world, right? It's just not the United States. Things you learn in a trade, you can take with you as your experience anywhere in the world to work. So one of the other, and hopefully, and I don't know when we're going to be back to normal, but hopefully we'll have that opportunity. One question I have too is, if I were in high school right now, what are some of the things that I should be doing to prepare myself to go into an apprenticeship like yours?
Pay attention in math class. That's what I would suggest. We have I want to say the curriculum includes 4 college level math courses. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 4 college level math classes, and the last one is pretty difficult. So I would say pay attention to math class, because there's also a placement exam you have to take in order to get in, and that covers basic college level algebra. I'm sorry, not college level, basic high school level algebra. Yeah, so pay attention in math class. That's what I would suggest. And learn to be punctual. We really care about punctuality. So practice your punctuality now.
Yes.
Test taking skills are very important. The difference between someone who passes and fails is not necessarily the smarter person. Sometimes the person who simply knows how to take a test. So yes, test taking skills are very important.
All right, Travis asks, do you guys work on the nuclear reactors in the Nimitz class aircraft carriers? Very specific.
Yes, we do. I don't know how he knows what a Nimitz class aircraft carrier is. Maybe his dad works in the Navy or something. Yes, there are 2 of them floating about maybe 100 yards away from us. And yes, I have worked in the reactor compartment myself. That was part of my job. Yeah, absolutely.
Can you drive a boat?
Yeah, he's ready to go. Joey's ready to go right here. So
you cannot drive the boat, but you can go and visit the captain's mast.
Yeah, you're going to have to be an officer in the Navy to drive the boat. So another question would be, what's give us an idea of what your day is like. And I know every position's varied and stuff like that, but I mean, what is the kind of the flow of the day and what they do, just in general?
Well, for us, that would depend totally on, what trade you work. So I'll give you 2 examples to give you extremes. So we have one trade called machinist. And so what a machinist does, the machinist makes parts and tools inside of a shop. So the machinist will use complex machinery to build parts out of metal, basically. So what will happen is that machinist will get something called a work package. So maybe in the morning, the supervisor will come and bring a work package to an employee and show it to them. They go over the work package together to decide if the employee is capable of doing it. The employee knows everything that they need to do. And then they go to work by themselves on a machine and they fabricate this piece of tooling or this piece of machinery, whatever it is that they're supposed to make. And they do it according to the work package, according to what's written. And that might take anywhere from a day to a couple of weeks for them to complete. That's on one extreme. On the other extreme, let's say you are a rigger, which is the lifting and handling group. So you might have a large engine that needs to go on one of those Nimitz class aircraft carriers that Travis mentioned earlier. So they might have to pick up that big piece of machinery using a crane or a forklift or various hoists, load it onto a truck. Then they would take that truck down to where the aircraft carrier is, get it onto what's called the hangar bay of the aircraft carrier, figure out a way to get it down into the engine room. And again, that might take anywhere from a few hours to even a whole week to do. So it really depends on what your trade is, as far as what job you will be doing and what your day would look like.
So to me, it sounds like it's going to be changing a lot and always exciting and always something new.
Yeah, it's really not the same thing over and over and over. It's really a dynamic thing. The ships are on tight schedules and they have a lot of work to be done. And so you kind of really don't know what you're going to be doing on a day-to-day basis. It's not really that type of thing. It can be reactive, you know, things happen. And it also depends on your trade. Machinist trade tends to be more predictable. Other trades where you actually work on the ship are a lot less predictable. You don't really know what's going to happen at a given time.
But
Right.
you're trained and you work with other individuals that are there to help you as well. And you end up kind of building a cohort, kind of people that you start off with. You kind of become very close and rely on each other to get things done. I think that's one of the things I like about working here as well, is you kind of have a group of people that you become your mentors and assist you on a daily basis. You see them every day, so you get a lot of work done together.
And what goes along with that is that each apprentice will always have an artisan with them. That experienced person that's been here sometimes years, that will, of course, also have the direct supervisor oversight with you. One of the things to consider, I'm basically in the aircraft arena here. Let's take, for instance, disassembly and assembly. Now, when we look at these two different variants, what would happen in a day in and day out this of it will apply that you go step by step, you know, taking things apart. Doesn't necessarily have to be in some sort of chronological order as it does making sure that everything is adhered to based on accountability, the structure of what you're doing, so forth and so on. And usually it's kind of routine. Assembly is totally different. It's totally different. Those artisans, those apprentices that are working in that assembly field of that, I'm using F-18 as an example. It is very, very meticulous. I mean, each wire, line, screw, whatnot, it has to be absolute perfect. I'll be honest with you. The attention to detail and between those two are like night and day. So that's the way it kind of works in those areas. And then, like I said, like M2May said, it's kind of based on the series. Painters, a little different. You know, everything starts and ends with aircraft at the paint shop. Everything, 100%. It has to come off. It has to be overhauled, maintenance and repaired. Then it has to be repainted so we can put it back out on the flight line.
So one thing that I know our students here at Vista High are fortunate to have Mr. McCreary in his automotive technology classes. And I'm wondering, Mr. McQuarrie, maybe you can tell them a little bit about what you do in some of your classes that might be prepping students for programs like this.
Yeah, so we've been getting into a lot of electronics, you know, because cars nowadays have, you know, 7 and 10 computers in them and sensors all over the car. So we're getting to know, you know, how to test those things, how to work with circuits and create circuits, and how electricity runs through the car, both AC and DC. And then, you know, just learning a lot of hand tools and power tools and being safe in a shop environment, working as a team, problem solving, you know, so I think a lot of those skills are going to translate to many different types of careers. And yeah, I'm ready to start over there when you guys want me.
So my question is, for the students taking automotive technology, does that give them a leg up in the application process when they go to talk about their skill set with you in the apprentice programs?
Okay,
Yeah, go ahead.
let me make sure I understand your question. Are you asking if any of the skills that they currently have give them an advantage as far as them bringing it into the program?
Correct.
I would say, as someone who is focused around training, I would say no. It would be irrelevant. Now, it would be good for them as it assists them in their ability to assimilate to the next step, yes. But for the program, myself as an apprenticeship program administrator, I would personally say no, because we're going to teach them exactly what we want them to know based on the standard that we must achieve. But it's a great asset to come in with, let's say, for instance, we have someone that comes in as an electrician. Of course, those folks are probably going to have a little more insight than someone that does not have any experience as an electrician at all. But to us, it's immaterial, because we are going to give you everything that you need, everything. And I think it would now look like, I'm sure M2May is going to add a little to this that's probably a little different with the ship side of the house.
Right. Yeah, for us, it's a little bit different. It depends on the trade. So our mechanic trade and our pipe fitter trade, having those skills already will help you in the interview process, and it will make you more likely to be selected.
Yeah, that's right.
And a lot of our other trades, it doesn't matter. And so Joe mentioned electronics and electricians. You would think that having that experience already makes you more likely to get hired. But as Joe also said, we like to teach you our way. And so with the electrical trade, they tend to take people with a high intellectual aptitude, high math skills, but not necessarily experience. The experience doesn't actually matter. So really, it depends on the trade. Some trades, they're just looking for a can-do attitude, a positive attitude, and they want to feel like you're going to be punctual and you're going to show up and do a good job. They don't care what experience you have. We hire people from every range. We hire former Navy employees who have worked on the exact component they'll be working on, all the way to we hire people whose only job they ever had was working at Target. And in my class, there was a guy who graduated from high school 2 months before he started. So it's just a wide range. It really doesn't matter.
And I will say this is one of the few areas where you actually can come into the government system as a government employee without any experience. Most other jobs require you to have experience or have an education. So again, this is a great opportunity for anyone who's interested in having a long-term career, a position with the government, also continue to learn, get paid while you learn. It's a great opportunity.
Yeah, I'm not going to say I have any favorites of all the apprenticeships that come over, but I kind of do. So, and you guys would be it just because of the cool factor and all the things you can do, and the fact that you're giving back to your country at the same time doesn't hurt either.
And no student loans.
Yeah.
No student loans. What more can you ask for?
You don't owe $80,000 at the end of 4 years.
And you're making about
You make $80,000.
Right, and that's something. This is, and again, this is why I'm bringing you guys to our students, is because I think a lot of our students don't have the clue as to what an apprenticeship is or this kind of training model. And a lot of them would love to be in these kind of jobs, but they don't really know the pathway to get there. So this is why I have you guys come over, because they really need to understand that there's a whole nother way to get an education and a career besides just going to a 4-year institution, right? There's a lot of careers that's not the pathway. That's not even how you get there. Right, but and getting this doesn't preclude you from getting that later on. You could certainly get a trade and go back and get your bachelor's, your master's. People do it all the time.
Absolutely.
Any other questions for our gentleman here before we run out of time?
We have I think Travis has another question. What variants of the F-35 do we build to work on? A, B, or C, or all? Travis, we currently are still in the F-18 phase all the way out to H. However, the plan is to bring in the F-35 in about 2 calendar years. That's the plan. So right now, we currently do not have the variant of any variant of the F-35 here that we maintenance, repair, or overhaul.
But there's a lot of talk and there's a lot of pre-work that goes into getting those F-35s here. So even if you come on board now, like I said, you know, if one of the cool things is you get to know what's coming up and you get a little bit of training and knowledge. You'll be ready to go when the F-35s get here. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah, we'll be ready for you, Travis.
Yeah, Travis, by the time you get through here and you get to be journeyman status, they'll have an F-35 waiting for you. So gotta be a few years. All right, any more questions today? And from the instructors, please jump in if you got some questions.
I got a question for Southwest Apprenticeship Program. Can I apply right after this session is over today?
Yes, you can. Yeah, the link is in the chat. You can apply right now. Yeah, we're taking applications starting today through April 5th. Yeah, so you can apply right away. The hiring process does take a long time. I will be honest with you. It takes a long time because it's the federal government. We have a lot of checks that we do. You have to take a physical, drug test, all that stuff. If you get selected, you'd be starting work in the October timeframe of 2020. But yes, you can apply right now. You just have to be 18 years old by the time you would start, which is in October. So if you're 17 and a half now, you can still apply.
Yeah, so if I were a senior, I'd jump on this, right? And don't snooze because that application window is going to close, right? And it's going to be about a year before the aircraft side opens up. Is that right?
Yeah, that's correct.
All right.
Right, it's going to be, we will, I would venture to say it'll be almost this exact time frame a year from now, about this week, a week, maybe a week early, a week later. But once we open up the hiring, the application process, it'll have, we'll have it open probably no less than 30 days.
Yeah, you gotta jump on this, guys, if you want to get in on it, because they only have a window open. But this is one of those opportunities of a lifetime, right? You want to grab this while you can and get involved with these programs because you can make a career and make good money and no student loan debt, right? Never a dull moment. All right, I think we're out of time here. If we have any more last questions, they can either throw it in the chat or come off the mic. Do we have one last question?
I was just gonna say thank you so much for, presenting all of this and showing us instructors as well as the students just a completely different lifestyle, and it's exciting. And I know our students are lucky to be sitting here and listening to you guys. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thanks for having us. Thank you.
All right, we are out of time. And thanks everybody, instructors, especially the students, especially everybody down there at the U.S. Navy for coming today and giving us this great insight. We really appreciate it, and I hope to have you back soon. And I hope next year I will be bringing some group of at least juniors and seniors down to both your programs to take a look around. And who knows, I might find Tim McCreary working there already. So
I'll be there. I'll be there.
All right, guys. Thanks a lot. I appreciate it.
Thanks a lot.
Thank
Bye-bye now.
Bye. That went really well.